Time to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. What's up, Vicki?
First of all, George, do you know what today is?
Today is March 8th.
Episode 100. Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
We've done this 100 times?
100 times
Well, all
today.
right then.
All right, so I told you I would remind you, okay, and so that you could make sure you
I would have brought a
took
cake.
me. See? I would have brought a cake.
I would have brought a cake. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
You can still bring a cake.
I will, next
All right,
time.
I'll see you, okay, on Monday.
All right, now do you have a favorite chocolate, vanilla?
Oh, I like lemon cake. Connie
Lemon?
Decker's lemon cake.
Wait, which one?
Connie Decker's lemon cake. The best lemon cake in America.
So is that something?
She's a baker
She's
here.
a baker in Syracuse. I
In
got to find
Syracuse,
Connie.
You got to
and get
find
her lemon
Connie.
cake.
Her lemon
Okay.
cake. All right, absolutely.
Great.
So I heard you making the announcement
Yes.
concerning the state of emergency.
Yes.
And most people this week, because of the things that happened within the financial sector, are very aware, not only with the state of emergency as far as the health crisis is
Yes.
concerned, that we are experiencing some turmoil in the market this week.
Right. Serious turmoil.
Serious turmoil, but I want to put that in perspective.
Right.
But before I actually start really dealing into the details, I have to say this to everyone. This is not about, I am not a healthcare professional. I'm not giving healthcare advice.
Right.
They need to make sure that they follow the advice that's listed on either the CDC website
Right.
or their own personal physician. What we are looking at, though, is some patterns and some things that they may want to think about as they start to make decisions around financial decisions over the next few
Yeah, because
days.
I'm wondering why are the markets being impacted so much by this?
Well, there's several things going on. First of all, the market likes stability. We've said that over and over again. And anytime we have events that either bode instability in the future, there's going to be a reaction. The second thing is something that we've also talked about over the years, and that is everything is connected. And you have to realize that the world markets and things that happen way, as they say, on the other side of the world, now have a much greater and a faster impact for us because all of our business functions are connected.
Right, because we make everything in China.
Well, we don't make everything in China, but okay, I mean, what happens?
I'm being facetious
all right,
here.
all right, okay, but all of our financial systems are connected. The third thing is this, though. There is a concept of something that we haven't really said a lot, but there's an event that we chart out in the financial sectors that's called a black swan event, and that's where I really want to deal for a while. So everybody go and pull out your Investopedia.com, which is our resource that we use, or Wikipedia, but primarily Investopedia.com, to do some additional background work on what's called a black swan event. Now, when I say that, does it give you any kind of feel of where we're headed?
Ballet.
Ballet. Okay, all right. And that was a movie, so
Yeah.
make sure if you Google it, we're not talking about the movie.
Right.
We're not talking about the ballet.
Okay.
We're looking at a financial
Okay.
concept called
All
the
right.
black swan event.
Yeah.
And basically what happens is this. We know that typically we encounter white swans. Those are the day-to-day things that are
Right,
the
right.
same every day.
Every day.
We chart those things out, and we have some level of predictability as far as what's called standard deviation. How much from the norm would we expect things to happen? But sometimes, right out of the blue, something happens that we have not built into the models because we can't build them into the models. And not only do they have an effect, or are they unexpected, they have a huge effect that turns everything upside down as far as what we're thinking, believing, and predicting. So coming into December, there was a little information concerning what was happening in China, but
Sure.
not big information. But suddenly it became apparent that what was happening there was going to spread across the world. And that became our most recent Black Swan event. Now, we've had Black Swan events before. Lots of them. Think about it.
Yeah.
9/11 was a
Yeah.
Black Swan event.
Yeah.
Okay. But the financial crisis was not
Right.
a Black Swan event, because there was some predictability if we really looked at the background of finances and things that were happening. Lehman Brothers going out was possibly a Black Swan event, but we had some understanding on a financial basis exactly what was happening here. So when you have a black swan event, it immediately causes individuals to retreat. And that retrenchment is what started to cause the markets to unwind, which is why the Federal Reserve so quickly stepped in with that 0.5 point lowering of interest rates.
Right.
So now we have all these things converging. Business disruptions, because we know business disruptions are going to take place. It's kind of like you can't go to work, and your friends can't go to work because the plant is shut down.
Right.
And now, you know, those widgets don't get made, and if those widgets don't get made, the guy down the street can't put them together to create a car. If that car is not put together, then that person down the road there can't sell a car, and that person can't sell a car, the mechanic can't repair a car. So all of these things become a circular action, and they cause seizing or potentially seizing in the marketplace. I'm not saying that so everybody goes jump. I just want you to understand how these things are connected together.
So is this a good, let me be careful how I say this.
Okay.
A lot of people would think because the market is where it is, it may be a good time to enter. What about that sort of thinking?
That sort of thinking is logical. The question is, are you prepared to enter and ride?
Right, okay.
Because if you're not prepared to enter and ride, possibly, I'm not saying this will happen.
Right.
There's a possibility that this is not necessarily over. There is definitely a probability that volatility will continue for several months. So that's what I mean by ride.
Right.
Because it's going to be like going out to the state fair, jumping on the roller coaster and catching at the bottom. When you catch at the bottom, you go at the top, but you hit the top again, you go back down. How do you feel? What's your reaction going to be? So you have to be prepared for what we know will be there probably, which is going to be a lot of volatility.
A lot of volatility,
Right. Now, here is the thing that's most important to me here.
Okay.
How long have we been talking about liquidity?
On this show?
On this show.
Well, it's the 100th episode.
It's the 100th episode. Would I say at least 25 of those shows?
I was going to say.
We have talked about being prepared for things that happen that we have no control over, that we needed to have liquidity set up so that we would have adaptability.
Yes.
Along with this black swan event theory, there's also a concept that's called corporate fragility. Well, I look at us as being little corporations, you know that.
Yeah.
So how fragile is or are your finances? Do you have the options, the liquidity, the flexibility to shift and move? Or what do they say, stick and move? Is that what Ali?
Yeah.
Stick and move. Okay.
Yeah.
To shift and move when you are when we're in an area of crisis.
Right.
Because that's what's going to bring you through in a much stronger position, and also to help your family members possibly who maybe not be quite as prepared. Liquidity. Did you put away the $6,000, the $2,500, you know, that we were talking about?
Right.
Because if we have more disruption, possibility for some small level of business layoff could exist.
So she said, did you put the money away? So if you were making $50,000 or under, you're supposed to put away $25 a week. If you were $100,000 or under, it was supposed to be $100 a week, right?
Right, that's correct.
Yeah.
So go back to that segment where we went through all the formulas.
Between 50 and 100, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
As far as the money that you should have now, because what I hope not to see is folks raiding their 401k accounts.
Right.
This would be the worst time.
Right.
To actually go in and take out loans on your 401k account. Not only loans, what I would also see a lot is, I'm just going to close it, give me all the money, especially if there's a layoff and we're moving to a new institution. This is the worst time to do that. You need your own liquid cash so that you are no longer fragile. Means that you have no options. But I know that our listeners,
because they listen to you.
They've set those liquidity accounts up, and that money is ready to go. All right. So, two things. I want to talk about opportunities.
Okay.
Opportunities. It was Rahm Emanuel, I believe. You remember the chief of staff in the Obama administration, and
Former
then he
mayor of
became
Chicago.
Mayor of Chicago. Had a saying, at least that's attributed to him, which is, "Don't ever waste a crisis." Meaning there's always opportunities, no matter what. Particularly when we're in crisis, to examine the things that we need to examine, pull them apart, and take action for improvement for the future. Because if there's anything Vicki can guarantee you, there will be another Black Swan event sometime in the future.
Right.
Whether it's a major one like this or a more personal one, you have to be prepared. So this is the time. Look at your budgets. We've been doing this for a while, but really, really look at your budgets. What things are there that are coming up in the short term that we may need to delay? Okay? And pull possibly that cash back into cash flow. What things are we paying for that we really, really, really don't need? It just makes us feel really good. Look at pulling those things off the budget line at this point in time and save that money. What things can you do that you can do more efficiently and more effectively on a financial basis? Spend some time as a family with that mission statement that we set up.
Family mission statement.
Family mission statement about 6 months ago. Really examine again that family mission statement and get everybody on the same page so that we are very, very focused going into the rest of 2020. All right, George.
Yes.
What was it, about a week and a half? It feels like a long time ago.
You made a big announcement.
I made a big announcement. The next morning, the stock market crashed. I wondered, like, oh my God.
So what was your announcement?
My announcement was that my firm is has joined with another firm there in Norfolk, Virginia. By the way, I am not leaving. We are not closing. We are expanding.
Right.
With another firm in Norfolk, Virginia, First Genesis of Virginia, to form a holding company called Heritage Financial Partners. Now, here's the background on Heritage Financial Partners, just quickly. We know that there's a tremendous, and my partner, by the way, has been in this industry. His name is Kenneth Royster,
right,
for the same 30.5-year period that I have. And we've known each other for about 20 years. We have seen, as advisors, and particularly African-American advisors, that the wealth gap, although we've worked very hard to advise our individual clients of all types, but the wealth gap continues to get bigger and bigger within Black and brown communities. And we kept saying to ourselves, why? We're working hard. We have other colleagues around the country that are doing so. What is possibly one of the missing pieces? And we determined that one of the missing pieces was longevity and continuation and succession planning with advisors in the communities that they serve, because most of the time, a financial advisor, a financial planner like myself or like Ken, when our careers are over, our companies close.
Right.
And or if we make it to, and we have to do the exit plan, remember that?
Right.
Okay. With the exit plan, we have no one who's coming in as a successor. We have not built succession plans or institutional continuation in the marketplace. So we decided to band together to build a platform that would allow other firms to plug into it so that there would be successors automatically in those communities that they had served in the past, to be sure that those firms continued and grew, because as the Vanguard study has shown, when you have a financial advisor, your outcomes are significantly increased and impacted throughout your life.
We got to wrap it up, Vicki.
All right, so here we go.
Okay.
March 23rd.
Yes.
March 23rd, I'm inviting everybody out to the Central New York Community Foundation on East Fayette Street for the second half of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Iota Nu Omega Financial Wellness Workshop that I'll be doing there at 6 p.m.
Sounds good.
And if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or reach out to us on LinkedIn or Facebook or at info@brackensfsn.com. And at this point, George, I'll say our plate is full.
What about the phone number?
Oh, area code 315. That's the easy thing, right? 315-930-4499.
All right, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC.